Hello everyone. Welcome to Inspire, a short lecture series in science. In short videos, we discuss various topics in science. Today's discussion will be a primer on genetics.
Today's agenda includes the following questions: Introduction to genetics, the what, why, and how, a brief history of genetics, and we will also look into Mendel's experiments with the pea plant. There's quite a lot of ground to cover, so let's just jump right in.
So, what is genetics? The word genetics comes from the root word genesis, which means to be born. It is the root for other common terms used in genetics such as genotypes, genes, and genomes. The history of genetics probably starts from an old and empirical observation like begets like. We all know this. Cats give birth to kittens, dogs to puppies, trees to saplings, and so on. Without explicitly mentioning the word traits or knowing about genes, people have been breeding animals and plants for desirable characteristics for millennia. Domestication and breeding of animals and plants relied on people's knowledge that certain desirable traits transferred from parents to offspring. This was indeed the true beginning of the application of genetics. However, a thorough understanding and creation of the theory required to analyze these observations had to wait until the middle of 19th century. So why do we study genetics? Genetics finds application in many fields such as agriculture, animal husbandry, health and disease, and research and industry. In agriculture and animal husbandry, our ability to understand the principles of genetics has allowed us to create plant cultivars and animal lines with desirable characteristics. Some examples are high yield per hectare of crops, high meat content in food stock, lean meat, improved health and resistance to diseases, and better environmental robustness. In the field of health and health and diseases and research and industry, genetics allows us to characterize diseases, understand their basis, and develop diagnostic methods. In the industry, understanding genetics allows us to create genetically modified strains that allow higher profitability. In research, genetics is frequently used as a tool to understand and isolate interesting biological phenomena. So, how did such an important branch of biology start? Around 1856 to 1863, an Augustinian friar, Gregor John Mendel, performed a series of experiments on pea plants that taught us a lot about the nature of genetic inheritance. He chose seven traits in pea plants that allowed him to distinguish between different lineages. These traits had distinct dominant and recessive phenotypes. Now, I have introduced a lot of new terms, so let us just try and understand these terms. The first term we learn is trait. What is a trait? A trait is a distinguishing characteristic or a quality of interest. For example, a red flower or a yellow flower, or the seed shape such as full or wrinkled, a tall plant, a short plant, thick stem, thin stem. These are examples of traits. A trait could be genetic or environmental. Traits are also often called phenotypes. However, phenotypes are associated with a genetic underpinning, that is, a genotype. Next, what is a lineage? A lineage is better explained through an example. For instance, in this picture, you can notice that the genes in your family would be transferred from your great grandmother to your grandmother to your mother and to the daughter. So, this would represent a lineage. In broader groups, a lineage represents the evolution of species or genus from a common ancestor. For instance, the hominid lineage consists of apes and old world monkeys and humans who can be traced back to a common primate ancestor. Genetic lineage is defined as a set of mutations or variations that connect a predecessor with a successor. So now take a look at the picture of the dogs here. They are Labradors and have the same set of genes. Despite that, you can tell them apart. Similarly, the kittens below. You could identify your pet dog amidst other dogs and even your calico cat. This is due to genetic variation contributed by alterations to genes. Genetic variation could be discontinuous or continuous variation. If the phenotype is qualitative in nature or discrete, for example, hair color such as the chocolate Labrador, black Labrador, etc., the flower color that we noted in the earlier slide, ABO blood group, these are examples of discontinuous variation. Continuous variation are those where the phenotype is quantitative in nature. For example, height, weight, enzyme activity. These are all examples of genetic variation, continuous genetic variations. So now that we have learned some of the basic terms, let us pause and review them. Okay, do you want to review?
So we learned the following terms here. I'm just going to recap these. We learned about traits and phenotypes. A trait is a characteristic under study. That trait which has a genetic underpinning is called a phenotype. The genetic cause then is the genotype. Traits could also be influenced by environmental factors. Next is the lineage. A genetic lineage or a pedigree is a set of mutations or variations that connect a predecessor with a successor. Now, genetic variation describes the alteration in genes amongst members of a species. We learned that genetic variation can be continuous or discontinuous. Now, while we are discussing continuous and discontinuous variations, I know we had a height as an example of a continuous variation in the slide below. I want to make an observation here. If you take people in a city and then you measure their height and then you ask the question, what is the genetic underpinning of this height? Now, height behaves as a continuous variable. If I were to take two distinct inbred populations, like say the Maasai tribe and the Pygmy tribe in Africa, the Maasai have an average height of above 6 feet, whereas the Pygmy tribe people have a height of below 5 feet. In this case, when we are comparing the genetic underpinnings of height between these two populations, height serves as a discontinuous variable. So one thing we have to note in genetic studies is the trait that we are using can become either a continuous trait or a discontinuous trait based on what population groups we are studying. Now that we have learned the basic terms, in the next lecture we should take a look at Mendelian genetics.
Yes, thank you for listening. And if you have any more questions, please email us or comment below. Thanks.
Have a great day, folks.